Maybe if you could just tell us, what is the right teaching regarding this seed money for people who don't know?
Yes.
Yes.
I think the right teaching is the fact that there are various types of teaching, and in terms of actually the various types of giving.
Yes.
Where every believer in any religious organization is actually supposed to give.
Yes.
We have alms giving, where people are expected to give so that the religious organizations can actually minister to the needs of the poor. And that is actually something that's expected.
Yes.
And so if I stand and tell people to give so that we as an organization, we as a church can minister to the needs of the people who are facing serious issues like hunger and all that,
yes.
That's right teaching. In the Bible, in the Quran, you find it there. Among the Hindus, it's there.
Yes.
There's always offering. And the offering is basically where people give according to their how, it's like free giving.
Yes.
Where you give according to how you feel. So there is no compulsion about it.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, give an offering, and it's up to you to decide how much am I going to give. In Christianity, we have tithes. It's a percentage of someone's earnings.
Yes.
And this is actually expected. In fact, when you read the Bible, for instance, it says you are expected to bring that kind of money. You are not even, it's like you're not being persuaded to give.
Yes.
It's like a command to give. And so there is a command for Christians, for instance, to give that.
Yes.
And then there is now what you call free will offerings. Now, the free will offerings is where I will come and ask you to support a particular thing, which may not be necessarily specific. And that one, that's actually now how people have actually been twisting.
Yes.
And now come up with any need and now support this cause. And that's how people have actually been talking about seed money and mbegu.
Yeah.
Because and they come up and I think that's why I was saying that it can be twisted. Anything positive can be twisted.
Yeah.
Because in every teaching about giving, there is a promise of blessings.
Yes.
And so it can be twisted in the sense that now you come and you tell people, if you give this much, then God's going to bless you. You know, we cannot twist God to bless someone who is giving. But yet we need to tell it that when someone gives, it actually gets blessed. So I think that's where you stretch it and then make it feel like if I don't give, then God's not going to bless me. And which is not right, because that's a free will giving. It's open for someone to make a decision whether I want to give. And even if I don't give it, as long as I give what is required, I'll still be blessed.
Exactly.
Yes, so I think that's how we stretch it and make it push it out of proportion.
Earlier on, you were telling me there's a difference between the donations and the mbegu. Yes.
Yes, there is a difference. In fact, what we're talking about here about this law, which forbids the mbegu giving, that for me, even if it was written in red and black and white that there was no mbegu asking on television, preaching or wherever, I'll still be very comfortable about it. But yet, when you read about the law, it actually puts it in a very interesting way. It says that we will not ask people to support them financially. That means the broadcasters, Christian broadcasters, should not ask those who are listening to support them financially.
Yes.
Now, for the interpretation of that is that we cannot even ask viewers.
Maybe if you could briefly tell me the interpretation. Well, sorry, you have to cut you short.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that is that the interpretation means that I cannot ask people to support a program.
Yes.
And yet you know that most of the people who preach on television and everything, they run those programs as an outreach programs.
Yes.
They are not businesses. They are not making money in that. So they actually rely on donations. And so when you say they will not ask for support, then basically you are saying we cannot even come and say you can support this program.
Thank you very much, Reverend Mulunda there, talking about the proposed law to rein on the men of cloth. Now we move on. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta Technology has failed me there, but Kenyan citizens have demanded that politicians be mindful of their utterances during rallies to prevent hate among citizens as the country heads to the general election next year. But it seems that a section of Kenyans enjoy such moments in a rally by the cheers they willingly give to hate mongers. Mashirima Kapombe will be giving us the details. We'll take that story shortly. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has concluded his tour of the coast with a final call to leaders to help fight drugs and alcohol. Trix Ingado reports.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on Lamu leaders to be vigilant and proactive in the war against illegal drugs at the coast.
Mimi nawaambia nyinyi viongozi wa Lamu, nyinyi muwe mstari wa mbele. Wajumbe, unganeni na wazee wa vijiji, unganeni na vijana, unganeni na wakina mama, unganeni na maofisa wa usalama, na mtuambie ya kwamba wiki mbili mumetoa watu hawa wote chafu ambao wanaharibu watoto wenu.
Za hilo tembo haramu pia hapa linaanza. Na jambo la pili, tuna matatizo ya mihadharati katika maeneo yetu. Na sisi tunataka hatua, tunataka sheria ichukue mkondo wake. Mtu akishikwa na mambo ya madrugs huwa ni kidonda.
The president drew comparisons between the coast and central Kenya, where he insists that the relative success in dealing with illicit brew is as a result of the successful collaboration between local leaders on the ground and the national government. Uhuru also touched on the land problem at the coast that is a perennial headache to locals and the government alike.
Tutamaliza shida ya ardhi katika nchi yetu, na ndio ardhi iwe chombo cha kulete maendeleo, chombo cha kuboresha maisha na kuboresha uchumi, lakini sio kitu cha kulete vita, manuguniko na mambo mengine.
Lakini mambo kama haya yalikuwa hakuna. Ilikuwa mtu akitaka karatasi kama hii, Mheshimiwa Rais anaenda Nairobi kuitafuta kwa gharama kubwa sana. Leo umekuja mwenyewe kuja kumletea mwananchi wa kawaida karatasi kama hii.
Lafu Johari Swahihi Obo.
Kenyatta then issued 2,069 title deeds, part of the 4,073 that were issued to Lamu County and 2,004 to landowners at Mkunumbi. The head of state affirmed his government's commitment to working closely with county governments to ensure Kenyans receive effective water and health services. The president was accompanied by cabinet secretaries Jacob Kaimenyi, Nadib Balala and Eugene Wamalwa, Lamu Senator Abu Chiaba, and Lamu East Member of Parliament Sheikh Athman, among other leaders.
Well, thank you very much for watching the Weekend at 1. My name is Najma Ismael. At the top of the hour, we'll be having News Track.